Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amy Shrader with Remax Real Estate 10.
And I'm Kim Swan with Morristown Investors Group.
It's Wednesday at noon, so we are back with you on our Facebook Live series. We're here every Wednesday at noon. I gave y'all a little teaser last night and let you know that we're going to talk today about the economy, the housing market, and we're even going to talk about that scary word, recession. Okay. So you're probably aware by now, unless you live under a rock, the stock market took quite a tumble last week. And of course, the media played that up and sensationalized that story. So if you followed it, you probably saw some headlines that said, Dow drops 800 points, worst drop of 2019 due to bond market forecasting a recession. I think it was NPR that said economic indicators point to possible recession in the future, great recession to hit the U.S. So lots of scary stories out there. But because the bond market predicted that we were going to be having an upcoming recession, people panicked when they heard the R word. And so they started selling off stocks, they were trading stocks, and so that led to a big decrease in the Dow for that day, okay? But what you probably didn't hear on the news is that the next day, the stock market opened, people were buying stocks again, trading was kind of, normal activity for that day. But that's not sensationalized. That doesn't, sell newspapers, so you didn't hear a whole lot about that. But the world we live in. Sensational headlines are what sells. So they want to scare people. They want to evoke an emotional response to get you to buy the paper, read the article, watch their newscast, whatever the case may be. So what I wanted to do today is kind of break down for you, what is a recession and what does an upcoming recession mean for the housing market today. All right. So if we talk about what's an economic slowdown, and this is going to sound really boring, okay, so just bear with me here, but an economic slowdown is when the GDP, which is the gross domestic product, slows in growth from the previous quarter, okay? A recession is defined as an actual decline in the GDP for consecutive quarters, all right? So right now, everything is predicting that we're going to see a recession. However, it's not because of housing that we're going to have a recession. Okay? It's more than likely because of, trade wars and, the geopolitical climate right now and all this stuff. They're talking about tariffs and, we've got a whole lot going on, but housing is not the reason that we're looking at a recession. Okay, so if we go back historically and look at what have home prices done over the past 5 recessions, you would be surprised to find out that 3 of the 5 recessions that we've had, home prices have actually increased. Okay, we go back to 1980, which I'm not going to lie to you, I was 10 years old, and I really wasn't keeping up with the economy at that point. But in 1980, during that recession, home prices went up 6.5% on average. In 1981, they went up 3.5%. Okay. Then we fast forward to 1991. And in 1991, home prices did drop a whopping 2%. So not horrible by any stretch. In 2001, during that recession, home prices went up about 6.6%. Okay. 2008, which is the recession that most of us recall vividly, especially if you were in this industry. In 2008, that recession was caused by a crisis in the housing and the mortgage market. Okay. So naturally, home prices fell. And they fell 20%, which is probably the biggest drop we'd ever seen here in the United States. So 2008, home prices fell 20%. But again, that was because the recession was caused by a crisis in the housing mortgage market. None of the economic indicators right now point to housing as being the indicator for this recession. So that means you're not going to see the big dip in prices that we saw in 2008. Okay? Traditionally, home prices have remained steady or increased during recessions, and we think that's what's going to happen this time. Okay? So don't think the sky is falling. Don't panic like people did in 2008. Don't let the scary headlines, scare you off and think that we're headed to another housing crisis, because it's just not true. Actually, right now is an unprecedented time to be a buyer or a seller in the real estate market. If you're a seller, you're probably really happy with the price that your home is selling for. And as we've talked about in our mortgage market updates on the first Wednesdays of the month, homes in Hamilton County are selling in about 2 months. From the time that house goes on the market till they've closed and a new buyer has moved in, it's about 2 months. So sellers are happy. Their house isn't sitting on the market. They're getting good prices for their homes. Makes a happy seller.
Definitely.
For buyers, we're looking at mortgage rates that are an all-time low. Okay. And I know, I used to do mortgages before I got into real estate, and they were low then. They were, 4 to 4.5%. And that's all you heard was rates are at a historic low. Rates are at a historic low. And we've kind of gotten used to that, I think. But today, right now, rates are truly at an all-time low. We've got 30-year fixed mortgage rates at 3.75%. That's unheard of. Okay. Yeah. So if you're a buyer and you're looking to purchase a home right now, great time to buy. You're not going to find an interest rate, 6 months or a year from now that beats 3.75. So that allows you to buy more home for your money. It's what that 3.75% does. But even if a recession is coming, it's not going to be like it was in 2008. Okay. Now, if you've got money in the stock market and that volatility right now is worrisome to you, it's causing you to be anxious about your financial future, then I would suggest investing in real estate. Real estate has proven over time to be a good investment. Okay. Morristown's growing. We have a good economy right now. We're growing. We have factories being built. Help wanted signs all over town. People are constantly hiring. So we have a lot of people that are moving into this area for those jobs. Those people need a place to live. And with inventory being tight, we're not, without an overabundance of homes on the market to sell, those people still need a place to live. So I would suggest to you that it's a great time to build a rental portfolio and start buying some homes, $100,000, $200,000 price ranges, and setting those up for rentals, because people need a place to live. If you already have some of those and you're looking to broaden your horizon, might be a great time to look at buying duplexes, fourplexes, apartment complexes. Okay. So housing as an investment is always going to be a good opportunity for you, because it's going to be more stable than what you're going to experience in the stock market. I would be happy to sit down and, work with you, whether you're looking to buy a primary residence or whether you're looking to buy that investment property. Kim has some great opportunities out there for investors if you're looking to finance those purchases. And one thing that you may want to consider, and I think we've talked about this before, is, you can buy a duplex as your primary residence, live in one side, rent out the other, and you're supplementing your mortgage payment. So we don't have a ton of duplexes in the area right now, but, we do have some that are available and on the market. So if investing in real estate is something that, you're thinking, hey, maybe I want to look into that, definitely give me a call, give Kim a call. We'd love to sit down and talk with you. But just to recap, this recession is not going to be anything like 2008. So don't believe the sky is falling. Do a little bit of research, and I think you'll find that what I'm telling you is pretty accurate. We may have a recession coming up, but it's not going to be the end of the world as far as housing goes. Okay. Now, I had mentioned on my Facebook page last week that Kim and I would like to start recognizing hometown heroes on our show. So if you know someone who's in the community that just makes this a better place to live, whether it's a teacher, firefighter, police officer, just somebody that is doing their job day in and day out, but they always have a smile on their face, they always have an uplifting word for you. We want to recognize those people, okay? And I mean, there's several individuals that come to my mind when I think about a hometown hero. So we want to share their stories. And, if you remember when school started back a couple of weeks ago, there was a picture that went viral, of the SRO officer comforting an autistic child who just went on emotional overload starting back to school. Awesome. Those are the type of people that we're looking for. So if you know someone that would make a great hometown hero to recognize, drop a comment, send me a direct message, call or text me, get in touch with Kim. We would love to meet up with those people and just share their story with everybody. Okay? So thanks for watching. We will be back next Wednesday at noon. If you have a topic you would like to see us cover on our show, again, just reach out to us and let us know. And thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Amy.